What is up, guys? This is Dead Rockstar from Modinformer, and this is Poke646 for Half-Life. Poke646 is a single-player story for Half-Life. The mod creator, Mark Schroeder, started development around the year 2000 as a college project, and eventually gained a following from the Half-Life community. Sure enough, he got a team together and pushed out Poke646 around the year 2002. Poke646 won several awards from 2002 and 2003's Mod of the Year awards on ModDB for Best Single Player Mod, and for the time it was one of the most praised mods out there. So, does that still hold up to this day? I would say the answer is yes. Yes, it does. So what is the story of Poke646? In Poke646 you play as Damien Reeves, not to be confused with Keanu Reeves. It's 13 months after the Black Mesa incident, and you are an assistant to one of the brilliant scientists of the Poke646 facility, which was created to defend Nation City against Zen invasion. When Poke646 intercepts signals from the Zen homeworld of an imminent invasion, the scientists of Poke646 have been preparing for this sort of disaster, developing a set of generators with the capability of closing and destroying the Zen's portal, creating technology for good. While trying to find your car keys, you're knocked unconscious, only to wake up finding the facility evacuated, alone, and you're mankind's only hope. Well, it's not the most original plot I've ever heard of. It sells itself in a cool, generic sort of way. It sets up the sort of scenario I was expecting. Like I said, I'm not blown away by it, but I guess it's one way to get our foot in the door. As soon as you wake up, there's a security message so conveniently left for you from Dr. Folder, who helps you throughout the story. These IUIC, or Info Unit Identity Card units, are one of the new features introduced in the mod. This is mainly used for progressing through the storyline and occasionally supplying you door codes or other bits of info you'll need on your way. So how has the gameplay changed compared to the original Half-Life? In Poke646, things are a little bit different compared to Half-Life. You have an overall different set of weapons, switching things like the crowbar for a lead pipe. You get a couple nail guns, which are actually pretty badass, which offer a few different fire modes. A crossbow rifle sort of thing. You get the Zen Squasher, which is a little creature, sort of like the hive hand, and a shotgun, which just rips through enemies that seems very Doom-inspired. The shotgun's gotta be my favorite. It's probably the strongest weapon in the game, by far. When you fire the weapon, it kicks you back a little bit, and it makes it feel a little more powerful, which is a nice detail. Overall, I think the weapon set is well-rounded, and I like how they just didn't settle for reskinning things. Everything's all new and reanimated, which keeps things interesting. Most obstacles and puzzles are sort of the connect the dots style puzzles. After looking around a little bit, you'll sort of figure out what you have to do and put two and two together. Nothing really new for the Half-Life mod, but they all work out the way they're supposed to, and I never got stuck, frustrated, or to the point where I had to look up a guide or anything to figure it out. Being set in the same universe as Half-Life, it was no surprise we saw the Zen as our main enemy throughout the mod. The zombies, as well as the grunts, do have a fresh coat of paint on them to keep things spiffy. As far as the actual combat goes, I never felt outgunned when it came to the battles and firefights. But there were a few times I'd save my game before going to the next area before engaging anyone. One thing that wasn't so familiar to Half-Life is the overall appearance to the mod. While they share the same game engine and the somewhat linear progression was similar, Poke646 features a full palette of new textures that paint the maps of the mod. Although nowadays we've seen more intricate and clever map designs for its time, the level design of Poke646 was another one of its high points. It doesn't ever feel like the development team took the easy route on things either. Break rooms, offices, and the world overall have that just lived in, recently evacuated feel, and certain things like the reflective floor of the library show off the kind of elbow grease they threw at the mod. I almost forgot to mention the subway map. A lot like some of the other points I've made about this mod, for its time it was awesome. You're on a runaway train. That felt like it was straight out of an action movie. And while I'm on the subject of mapping, it wasn't until the second or third playthrough I actually started to notice some of the awesome lighting of the mod. The majority of the mod takes place in darker areas, or outside at night too. So it's something you'll definitely notice. And the light placement was just superb. Not all of the lighting was baked on either, so it actually looked really good. Music is one of those highlights of the mod. It's very fitting to the setting and the atmosphere. Due to the age and the updates of the Half-Life engine, the first time around, the background tracks didn't loop for me. After updating it and applying the Steam pipe fix that Mallertai over at ModDB posted, that fixed my problem. Even in the very first part of the mod, I noticed a difference just in the overall feel of the mod compared to when I didn't have music to when I did have music. And I just want to take a quick second to thank Mallertai as well. He's posted several other compatibility fixes for Half-Life mods over on ModDB, so if there's a mod that you're trying to play that's not working for you, check out his page. I'll post it in the description below. With my reviews, I don't try to pick out negative things unless it's really game-breaking, or if it really frustrates me about the mod. A lot of the puzzles and obstacles were mostly straightforward, but when you're on the ledge where the tentacles are, I got stuck trying to jump from the ledge I was on to the ledge a little bit lower, and it wasn't really clear to me until I was getting frustrated that you actually have to break the pipe that blocks your way. When I did that, I was like, oh, that's how you do it. But it took me probably 10 to 15 quick saves to figure that out. Also, you may notice a hint of realism to the mod, in the sense that you don't have the HEV suit to help you out, and when you're swinging your lead pipe, there's a sort of stamina involved in how long you can swing it, which is kind of annoying. I thought it was a somewhat interesting feature for its time. Overall, Poke646 is a full-fledged mod that sets the bar for what a single-player Half-Life mod experience should be. If you're playing it now, it definitely isn't as impressive compared to the day it originally came out, but if you're a fan of Half-Life mods or modding in general, you owe it to yourself to check this one out. Once again, I'm Dead Rockstar from Modinformer. Subscribe if you want to see more of these videos. Drop a comment below if you like Half-Life mods and to let me know what you want to see in my next video. Otherwise, I'll see you next time, and remember, why play new games when we have mods?